Well, as we reported at the top of this broadcast, the case against Kyle Rittenhouse is now in the hands of the jury.
The jurors started their deliberations at 9:15 this morning.
Joining us now is attorney Jessa Nicholson, who worked briefly on the Rittenhouse case early on. Jessa, welcome. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Jessa. Good to see you.
Good to see you both, too. Thanks for having me.
How long do you think the jury will deliberate?
So it is an element of reading tea leaves, but in my prior experience, I always tell people to expect that there's going to be at least 1 hour per day of trial and usually at least 1 hour per count. So I'm expecting a verdict much later this week. I think tomorrow would be the earliest we'd see it. And really, Thursday is a good possibility. If I had to guess, I think this is going to be 15 to 20 hours of deliberation.
Interesting. We will wait and see. 18 jurors were selected overall. 12 of them are now deliberating this case. And the 6 that were dismissed were chosen in a random drawing by Rittenhouse himself. Is this how it's usually done?
So by statute, it is done by lottery. Usually there's like a bingo ball thing or a hat that they draw names out of. This is the first time I've seen a judge have the defendant do the actual physical selection, though.
What was your reaction when you heard that?
I thought it was atypical.
Yes, like many things in this trial.
I'm not sure what to make of it, other than it's not typical.
The jurors went home last night after closing arguments, and they were given instructions by the judge not to watch news coverage of the case. Why is the jury not sequestered in this case? And will they be, from this point forward, at the end of their deliberations tonight?
So as far as I understand it, there has not been an order for sequestration even into deliberations. So I expect that, they'll be sent home tonight. From everything this judge has done, I would expect that he's not going to keep them late into the evening. I expect that they're going to wrap probably pretty soon for the day and then send them home to come back tomorrow. Different courts do that differently. Some judges will keep people out a long time, but he's been pretty rigorous about sticking to that business hour schedule. In terms of why they're not sequestered, it's expensive and it's very emotionally difficult on jurors to be sequestered for an entire trial. There's actually been a lot of studies regarding jurors that have participated in lengthy sequestrations, and it can trigger traumatic experiences that account for PTSD sometimes. So I know that the courts go to great length to try and give alternative instructions to allow people to be with their families in the evening. The result of that is there's more opportunity for them to overhear something that they've been instructed not to.
Who do you think did a better job in the closing arguments? There are two separate pictures of Rittenhouse here, vigilante versus patriot defending himself.
So overall, my impression was that Binger's closing argument was the strongest. I thought that Mark Richards had some very good points. I had some issues with the narrative structure of his closing. I think it could have been structured differently to make more of an impact. And I didn't feel that the rebuttal moved the needle very much either way.
So you think the defense did a better job?
I think the prosecution's initial close was the strongest of the arguments.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The jurors so far, since the deliberations began, they've asked the judge for extra copies of the jury instructions. Is there anything that can be deduced from that?
Well, that is, in my view, pretty expected, given that we've got this complicated interplay between the affirmative defense of self-defense and a reckless homicide charge. It's kind of a complicated analysis to go through those lesser included offenses, particularly when you're talking about the difference between intentionality and recklessness. And there's a lot of nuance in the physical substantive instructions. So I can understand that if a jury wants to get this right, they want to make sure that they're all following along and using the same pattern language.
Yeah, they're pretty complicated.
So what I can deduce from that is we've got a jury that cares about doing this correctly.
Then that's good news. All right, Jesse, you're going to be standing by. You're going to join us on our special reports as they come along later this week. We're looking forward to seeing you then.
We appreciate your time and your help.
Absolutely. Looking forward to chatting more about this as we get more info.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.